How's it going, YouTube? Got FourthStarTCG here, and today got a very exciting video for you. I am sending off 110 cards to PSA. We're going to ring in the new year with a submission to Perpetually Slow Authenticators, and hopefully we'll have these cards back in 2021, but I am not holding my breath. Yeah, so PSA has been very, very slow lately, but it's just, you got to deal with it. There's no use complaining too much. They're going to do what they're going to do, and we just got to hang in there. So yeah, 110 cards. This is a huge submission. It's short by about 10 cards from my biggest one ever that I did in August, which was my last submission. But yeah, really excited for this. Got a ton of awesome cards. It's going to take a while, so why don't you grab an age-appropriate beverage, grab a snack or something, sit back, and enjoy all of these beautiful cards. So without any further ado, let's crack into it. The first card, these don't really have too much of an order. You'll see a general order by era, but first we got Zapdos, base set Zapdos, English version. This is one of my favorite cards. I actually submitted one in my last submission, but can't go wrong with another. Hoping for an 8 or a 9 on this. Back is pretty clean. Little ding in the corner there. There's probably some light hollow scratches. But yeah, very nice base set Zapdos. Another WotC Hollow. WotC Hollows are not my thing, but I think I picked these up for something ridiculous like, less than $10 a piece. So if I can pick up mint WotC Hollows for less than $10, I'm going to do that all day long. This beautiful Ditto. Again, that awesome hollow pattern from the Fossil set. Again, a very clean look on the back. Just a ding or two in the corner there. And again, I'm hoping for a 9 on this one. Centering's good. Everything looks to be good on this card, so hoping for a 9 there. The only English EX card in this submission, but oh boy is it a big one, Tyranitar Ex from EX Unseen Forces. This is just crazy. This card I've had for a while. I've had it for probably a little over a year. But I never actually decided to submit it. It has some hollow scratches on it, so I'm thinking like maybe something like an 8 on this. But, with the way prices have gone, back a year ago an 8 was not worth it, but now an 8 definitely is worth it. So we'll see how this does off at PSA. Next up, 3 copies of one card, Shining Ho-Oh. I bought these over the summer for like $3 sealed, and the prices just went crazy, so now it's off to PSA with these copies. Hoping for at least 110. That would be really nice. I don't think this first one has a shot at a 10. It's got a little ding on the top there, but a 9 still really nice. These two, they should have a shot at a 10. As I said, these come right out from the sealed packaging, so would be hoping that at least one of them came back with the Gem Mint 10 grade. Again, this is just a beautiful card and a wonderful idea for Pokemon to bring back the Shinings. I was a huge fan of that. Shining Legends is a wonderful set. All right, continuing here. Special Delivery Pikachu, gotta love it. The very, very exciting new promo. I'm hoping for a 9 on this card. The centering's a little off. You can see left to right, and there's just some hollow scratches with these. I really don't think there's going to be a lot of 10s of this card. But yeah, I thought this was going to be a $10 card. My expectations were fairly quickly shattered on that. It is now an $80 to $100 card, but still very, very cool. And the back's very clean on this. Again, like I got this out of the sealed packaging myself. So generally those cards are in pretty good condition. A lot of people got theirs like damaged because of shipping, which really sucked. But thankfully mine was in pretty good condition. So yeah, hoping for a 9. All right. Next up, I have Espeon and Deoxys, and Umbreon Darkrai GX Tag Team promos. I submitted these in my last PSA submission, I believe, or maybe the one before that, I don't know. I know I have 2 of these off at PSA, or 1 of each off at PSA right now, but these are just such nice cards. I picked these up and it was just, they were in mint condition. As you can see, the backs are really clean. So I'm sending these in as kind of like an insurance policy if my other ones don't score the PSA 10 grade. Thankfully, these were packaged really well in the product, in the Tag Team Powers collection box, I believe. So acquiring a 10, even if I don't grade one myself, probably won't be too difficult. And now we are closing it out with the English cards, everything English up until this point, or well, these are the last two copies of Salamence V from Darkness Ablaze. Salamence V, one of my favorite new cards. Salamence, of course, one of my favorite Pokemon, if you can see my channel header there. So yeah, Salamence V, these are really nice. I bought 4 copies of this card, and all 4 of them were basically in perfect condition, which was really, really exciting. So modern card quality, back to really just the top level of what we're expecting here from Pokemon. And yeah, so really excited to send these off. Again, hoping that one of them comes back with the Gem Mint 10 grade so that I can knock this out in a PSA 10 fairly early on in the card's lifetime. All right, so now we'll go into Japanese. The remainder of this submission is Japanese cards, and there's some amazing stuff in here, I gotta tell you. I feel like every submission just keeps going up in the levels of craziness and exciting cards to submit. Probably like some of my older submissions had more in terms of value, but man, there's just some really, really nice stuff here. I'm so excited to show it all off. So first up, Sunset Mew. This is a beautiful, beautiful card. I really think this is undervalued right now. Japanese exclusive artwork. Beautiful, beautiful card design, and, you know, a rare old promo. I'm really hoping this comes back with a high grade, hoping for a 10, as there's really not much here on the card at all. Again, I'd be happy with, you know, a 9, but really hoping for a 10 on this, as it would be very, very awesome. So now we are getting into something that I've been working on recently, trying to purchase over the last couple months, and thankfully I've had some luck with finding mint copies, and it is Black White Ultra Rares, the shiny Pokemon, the Ultra Rares from the Black and White era. I really like these in Japanese, so I've been picking them up, and I've had some great luck. Here you go, we can see Rayquaza, one of the big ones. This one is not in, you know, sort of normal hoping for a 10 Japanese condition. They were selling for ridiculous numbers in Japan, and I was able to pick up this one. It has some issues. It has a little ding on the top. It has a scratch underneath the N of Pokemon there, as you can see. I'm hoping for an 8 on this. I think if it was just the edge wear at the top, it might be able to score a 9, but with that scratch, I'm thinking an 8 on this card. And that would be totally fine. Again, it's more about just having the card encapsulated in my collection, and maybe going back and acquiring a better copy as time passes. Next up, beautiful Sigilif Ultra Rare. Again, you kind of like, when you see this, it's not all that special, and I mentioned this in my other videos, but then you turn it in the light, and the card comes to life. So, yeah, these are just beautiful, beautiful cards. You really have to see them in person to appreciate them. Most of these from here on out, I'm hoping for 10s on. Really, really clean on the back. I picked most of these out, hoping for Gem Mint candidates. As I said in my buying cards from Japan, good, bad, and ugly video, it doesn't often end up like that. What you hope to be gem does not usually turn out to be gem. but it's still really, really fun to buy those cards, and eventually you get some ones that are in good condition. Got the Golurk, 2 copies, 1 unlimited, 1 first edition. This is from Black and White 6, I believe, Freeze Bolt. So yeah, Golurk, again, these are both in very nice condition. Hoping for 10s on these. Backs are very clean. Next up, this is arguably my favorite Black and White Ultra Rare. Really, really hoping for at least 110 on these cards. We got 2 copies of Empoleon from Spiral Force, I believe. I think it's Spiral Force and Thunder Knuckle. I think the Empoleon comes from Spiral Force. But yeah, this is just a beautiful card, one of my favorites of all time. Yeah, so really hoping we get at least 110 back. They're a little off center, especially this one. But I really don't think it's outside of the bounds of a PSA 10, 60, 40. I actually think I measured it before I bought the card to make sure it was within those bounds. But again, the backs are really, really clean. So hoping for at least 110. If I got 2, that would be really exciting. So it's kind of funny the way that all this works is that a lot of the ultra rares I ended up not getting a mint copy of, but then as you've seen for the last several copies, I have 2 of the Golurk, 2 of the Empoleon, 2 of this Virizion. So I've gotten multiple copies in good mint condition of several cards, but no copies in good mint condition of others. And again, that's just sort of how it rolls sometimes. But man, this beautiful Virizion, again, I just love it. Clean on the back. Little to no issues there. Really, really hoping for high grades on these. All right, now into a couple of the older ultra rares. 2 copies of Reuniclus from Dragon Blast, I believe. I'm going off of the color on the set symbol there, I believe. I think Dragon Blast is green and Dragon Blade is orange. Yeah, so Reuniclus here, 2 copies of this. One of these is kind of interesting. It has like, the back has, like, the light reflects off of it in interesting ways. It kind of looks like there are not like creases, but like minor, I don't even want to call them indentations because it doesn't look like it. But if one of these comes back with a low grade, I'll have to take another look. But it was just kind of something that, you know, the light reflected off of the back in a way that I wasn't necessarily familiar with. So PSA might see that and downgrade one of these cards based on it. If they do, I'll know why, but if they don't, you know, it certainly wasn't like a crease or anything or an indentation. Keeping on with the black-white ultra rares, this beautiful Archeops, just love it. Very, very cool. You got that textured pattern on the card in both the Pokemon and the symbol here. And yeah, I just love that. Everyone says like, oh, what are the next gold stars? I think these are like the spiritual successor to gold stars, if that makes sense, because they follow the same kind of, I guess, card style, where they're not full art, they're not crazy. They do have, you can't really, you can never catch the gold stars in terms of how great they are. But I think these black-white ultra rares do come close. Superior, just wonderful. Beautiful, beautiful copy of this card here. I think this might have a little bit of edge wear on the top, some tiny, tiny issues. So if this came back something like a 9, that would not be surprising. Some of these cards are sort of on that edge where it's like, are they going to grade a 10? Are they going to grade a 9? I'm not really sure. But with cards like this, you do have to just take the leap. Hydreigon, ultra rare. This was the good one. I got a weird sun-faded copy, but this one was very, very nice. I think this one is basically 1000% clean. Yeah, so hoping this one comes back with the Gem Mint 10 grade. Yeah, a lot of these cards, it's just like if half of them come back 10s, that would be great. Again, that's sort of like, I'm hoping for 10s on most or not all, most, if not all of them, but you know, that's never the way it actually works. There, you know, you miss things. Beautiful Pikachu here, Kuki Saito art there. I think this is probably going to be a 9. Just some tiny little things here and there on this card. Again, if it came back a 10, I'm certainly not complaining. Ultra rare Pikachu. I guess this is technically shiny Pikachu. It never really seems that way because shiny Pikachu isn't all that different. But yeah, it's just such a cute art. I love it. Not as exciting as, you know, Hydreigon and Empoleon and Rayquaza as the shinies, but you know, Pikachu is pretty awesome. Take a drink of water here. Yeah, I brought my water bottle just to keep my voice going for what's going to be probably a 45-minute plus submission. So now we're going into some XY ultra rares. Got Mega Gengar EX. I just love this card. I'm a big fan of these XY Gold Megas. They're not really all that different from the normal cards, but I kind of like that. I kind of like, you know, when I opened Phantom Gate and I opened the Mega Manectric Ultra Rare, I graded it a 10. I still have it to this day. It was so fun because, you know, it's got that subtle difference, but then you realize it and you know, oh my god, I've pulled an Ultra Rare. Which, you know, back when I was opening these was pretty crazy because I wasn't, I was not of the same financial means that I am now. So, you know, buying 2 boxes of a set was big for me. And that's what I did for Phantom Gate. And I pulled the Ultra Rare Manectric, which was very, very exciting. Next up, I got these beautiful 2 copies of this beautiful Yveltal EX secret, or not secret rare, it's ultra rare actually. I guess maybe it is a secret rare in the Best of XY set, but come on, it's gold, it's an ultra rare. And yeah, it's just crazy, crazy, crazy. Beautiful artwork by Hasuno, just killer. I submitted a couple copies of this card in English. And yeah, really hoping for a 10 on one of those and a 10 on one of these Japanese copies. Yeah, just really, really exciting. And I'm kind of cracking through the XY era and picking up the big cards that I like, trying to get out in front of not necessarily price rises. I don't think they're going to rise in price for a very long time, but just while it's easier to find these cards in mint condition. Lysander's trump card. Originally it was called Lysander's Last Resort in Japanese. I like that more than Lysander's trump card. But yeah, this is just a beautiful card, mint condition. Really hoping for a 10. Surprising that these cards are still available. I think I paid, you know, a very reasonable price for this card in the past. I think when it first came out, it was like $40 to $50, which back in 2014 was a lot of money to pay for a card. So next up, you got this beautiful Kyogre EX full art from XY5. I think this has something, yeah, it's got a tiny little ding in the corner. So if this comes back a 9, would not surprise me, but it is just a beautiful, beautiful card, and one that I definitely want to submit regardless of whether it comes back a 9 or a 10. Very, very nice. The texture on this, it's, again, these Japanese full arts and ultra rares and stuff, you can't really, like I said before, you can't appreciate them unless you see them in person and look at the texture. It's really something else. Another XY5 Title Storm full art. We got the Whalelord Ex full art. Just beautiful artwork, again, from Ryo Ueda. So simple, but so cool. And yeah, I remember this card very well from, you know, this was right when I got back into the hobby in 2000, and I think this was 2014. I think this Title Storm and Gaia Volcano came out in December of 2014. So yeah, just going on about 6 years since I got back into the hobby. Yeah, I got back in 2014, so man, how things have changed. Now into Black White, the full arts from Black and White that I am submitting. We got a beautiful Victini full art, just killer. They really did this card dirty in English. They sort of took away all that texture in the background and just made it flat. But in Japanese, it's still a very, very nice card. Got the Reshiram EX Full Art Promo. This came in a promo pack where you got this and a bunch of Black-White era packs. I opened this on my channel. I'll link the video if I remember in the iCards. It's a really fun opening. I pulled a lot of awesome stuff in that video. So yeah, go check it out. Not something you get to see every day. Not something you get to see a lot of these days is opening Black and White era Japanese packs. Next up, we got a Groudon EX full art from Hail Blizzard. Just a top-notch card again. That beautiful texturing on Groudon. I have this in a PSA 10 already, but it's one of my favorite Black-White era full art artworks. So certainly going to be submitting copies when I get them. We're going on a run of Black and White full arts here with Raikou. Very, very nice. The next round of Japanese full arts here, I ordered them all off of one seller, and they all have like very, very tiny little things. Barely know if you can see that at the top there. It's just like, it's kind of hard to describe. Like the line just isn't as perfect, which is kind of interesting because like I've submitted cards like this before in Japanese and they've scored 10s. I think it's really just like what grader you get, whether they score that as edgeware or just, you know, it's probably just a factory issue. Here's this beautiful Entei EX. I think I have this one off at Perpetually Slow Authenticators. But sometimes you got so many cards off at PSA, you kind of forget what you submitted. But hoping if that one doesn't come back a 10 that this copy does. Next up, got a big boy, Darkrai Ex. Just a beautiful, beautiful card. This is one of my favorite, again, one of my favorite Black-White full art artworks and just full art artworks in general. It is top notch. Really shows that, you know, you don't have to go crazy with a, you know, massively popping background. You can just have a great Pokemon, some clean background lines, and a great pose, and you've got a beautiful full art card. So I already have this in PSA 10 in both English and Japanese. But again, certainly not saying no to submitting another copy for the collection. Can't have Darkrai without Cresselia, so here's Cresselia EX from Black and White 6. Again, just beautiful. I think this is from Freeze Bolt as well. Very, very nice. And another Black-White 6 EX card. This probably from Cold Flare, if I am reading the set number and color correctly. Celebi EX. Just beautiful. Again, I love these Black and White full art cards. The texture is so subtle and so beautiful. It's really just, again, you got to see these in person to appreciate them. Really hoping that that this one comes back with the PSA 10 grade. And next up, 2 copies of, again, another very big Black-White full art card, the Rayquaza EX. I I foolishly sold my PSA 10 copy thinking I had one that would grade a 10, but that was not the case. I actually think it graded something like a 6. It did not come back high, and that was because I missed like a crease in the corner or something, something like that. But these copies, they're clean, they're nice. Hoping that I can reclaim that PSA 10 in my collection with at least one of these cards. And last but not least, for the Black-White Full Arts, another amazing big card, the Mew EX. Again, I think this is probably coming back a 9. There's just some very, very light things on the top there. So probably a 9 on this card. Again, if it came back a 10, I'm certainly not complaining. But yeah, this is just beautiful. Love it. All right, so now we're sort of skipping ahead and going into the Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield era with some cards here. We got Red's Pikachu, which has stonked like crazy. I think I bought this for, you know, $3 or something, and now it's $300 in a PSA 10. I remember when you could buy these for $30 in a PSA 10 all day. There's just so many out there, but again, people are asking, why has Red's Pikachu gone up? And then they think, okay, wait, it's Red's Pikachu. It's Ken Sugimori art. It's a full art promo. And then they're like, oh yeah, I should have seen that coming. So Red's Pikachu, just a beautiful, beautiful card. And yeah, really hoping this comes back with the Gem Mint 10 grade. It is very, very clean on the back. I got lucky with this card, buying it basically right before the price rise. So that was pretty fun. It's always fun to buy a card for really low and then see it go crazy as soon as you get it in the mail. Salamence VMAX Hyper Rare. Very modern card, but a very cool one. Again, I'm a big fan of Salamence. Get off the big ones to PSA as early as possible. Just complete the collection. Got a couple amazing rares here. I have a ton of amazing rares from Shiny Star V, but I'm not submitting them yet. The values just aren't there, and you know, they'll be in mint condition in my collection for years. But I would like to get the legendary Heartbeat amazing rares in a 10 fairly quickly. So I'm submitting a Zamazenta and a Zacian. So just beautiful, beautiful copies here. I think the Zamazenta I sent off. I thought it had a ding on it, so I bought another one, and the Zacian I did not submit in my last submission. So yeah, I'm hopefully well on the way to a complete set of those. I think the only one I have left to submit is the Jirachi. Take another drink real quick. All right. Do have some cards from Shiny Star V to submit. 2 copies of the Shiny Dragapult V. This is my favorite card from the set. I just love it. Dragapult, one of my favorite Gen 8 Pokemon. And yeah, so I was able to pick up a bunch of these Dragapult Vs in mint condition. I have a ton of Shiny Star V cards to submit, but not going to submit all of them. Again, the value's not necessarily there, and you know, I'd rather spend my money on submitting all of these cards that I have now, just getting them in the line as quickly as possible. And the big pull from my Shiny Star V booster box, if you haven't seen it, go check it out because I'm spoiling it now. The Secret Rare Marnie Supporter, one of the most expensive cards in the set. I think probably second to the Charizard VMAX. I do think this is more expensive than the regular Shiny Charizard V. But yeah, Marnie, everyone loves Marnie, and this a unique artwork of her in the Galar, I think probably Winden Stadium. Yeah, really, really cool, really awesome artwork, and really exciting to pull this card. So yeah, definitely go check that out. I'll link that in the iCards if I remember. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful Shiny Star V Marnie. All right, so we're done with the modern, and now we're taking a big jump back to the EX era. My last submission did not have a lot of Japanese EX cards, but this one is bringing it back to your regularly scheduled 4-star TCG programming with a ton of old school Japanese EX cards. So first up, that's certainly the way you want to start, with 2 copies of Espeon EX. I believe one of these, yeah, this first edition has a ding in the corner there, so this is probably going to be a 9. But again, a 9 on a first edition Espeon EX, that is something I will take all day long. So yeah, really excited about this, and hoping it does come back with that Mint 9 grade. I'm hopeful that this Unlimited Edition copy will come back with the Gem Mint 10 grade. It is very clean on the back, not much at all. So yeah, very much hoping that we get the top PSA 10 grade on this. And that's going to hold true for a lot of these Japanese EX cards. PSA 10 is the grade I'm hoping for most of them. Obviously, I'm going to miss some things that they're not all going to come back 10s, but I'm hoping that 10 is sort of the standard here. All right, next up, beautiful Typhlosion EX. Shoutouts Dizzle. He's not a fan of this art, but I actually like it. First edition from EX Sandstorm or Miracle of the Desert. A really nice card. Now again, I have every single Japanese set-based EX in PSA 10. I completed that collection goal back in 2019. But again, I just love these cards. They're some of my favorites, so whenever I see them, I do pick them up. And they really haven't started to go for crazy amounts, so like when I can pick these up for under 20 bucks each, you know, that's an all-day purchase in my book. Blaziken EX, first edition, Magma versus Aqua. Yeah, just a beautiful card, really expensive in English. Hasn't really gotten there yet in Japanese, but a very nice card. Next up, another Magma versus Aqua card, Swampert EX. Very nice. I do think I like the Miracle Crystal Swampert EX more, but some EX Dragon cards here. Rulers of the Heavens, this beautiful Ampharos EX. It just works so well with the hollow pattern. Just love it. Awesome Ryo Ueda art there. Top notch. Man, yeah, I just love these cards. Definitely my favorite class of cards, the old EXs. Here's another big one from Rulers of the Heavens. Rayquaza EX, the original Rayquaza EX rookie card, as some people have taken to calling it. But yeah, this in very nice condition. Just beautiful. Hoping for the Gem Mint 10 grade on that. That would be a big money card if it did come back with that grade. Next up, this Deoxys EX. I wasn't sure if this Deoxys EX was good enough to submit because of the centering. Might score a 9. As you can see, the top to bottom centering is off a bit. But again, this is just like, it's kind of on the edge. The back is really clean. So it's just one of those things where you got to send it off. PSA is going to have their say, and you know, whatever they say is going to be the grade for the card, obviously. All right, getting into some really big cards here. Everything in Team Rocket returns. Rocket Gang Strikes Back is big. 2 copies of Rocket's Hitmonchan EX. This copy right here has a beautiful swirl in it, right under Hitmonchan's left arm, or sort of our right, his left. So check that out. Beautiful swirl. Big fan of that. Next up, another big card, Rocket Snorlax EX. I don't think this is in perfect condition. I think maybe it has a little bit of edge wear along the top. Yeah, a little bit in the corner there. So probably not a 10 on this, but definitely an 8 or a 9. Hoping for a 9. Would still be a pretty big card in mint condition. So Here's one that I am hoping for a 10 on. The final Rockets EX card in this submission, Rockets Entei EX. Again, just beautiful, beautiful stuff, and a awesome, awesome card. Very, very clean on the back. This was a win purchase off of Yahoo Japan. Next up, Kyogre Ex from Undone Seal. You always have a strong attachment to this Kyogre Ex, as in English it's the only EX that I ever pulled. So, big fan of this card. Again, when I see it, always pick it up. Next up, Blissey Ex. Again, just a beautiful, beautiful card. Really love the orange background on here. It works really well, surprisingly. Orange on pink and white, but yeah, a really, really nice card. Maybe I just have a sentimental attachment to it, as this is another card that I had when I was a kid, in English, of course. But I think we have even more Japanese EXs. Altaria Ex. This was an interesting card in the Japanese Mirage Forest set. Now, Mirage Forest went into our English Legend Maker, but this Altaria EX did not, as it went into EX Emerald. It does have a nice swirl there in the top right, if you can see that. All right, next up, 3 copies of Salamence EX from EX Deoxys. What a beautiful card. Yeah, this is just really, really nice. I think I submitted 3 copies of this card before. All of them are first edition, which is really cool. First edition Clash of the Blue Sky is a lot harder to come by than unlimited edition. So always nice to have these, and yeah, hoping at least one of them comes back with that PSA 10 grade. Next up, I think we're coming down the home stretch on EX here now. Sceptile Ex, the first Delta Species EX from Miracle Crystal, first edition, very, very nice. Again, very clean on the back here, hoping for that Gem Mint 10 grade. And the final EX is one that's, whoops, knocked the camera a little bit there. This is pretty interesting. This is a unlimited edition World Champions Pack Skarmory EX. Unlimited edition World Champions Pack is very, very rare. Arguably the rarest unlimited release outside of the Unlimited Legend series. But yeah, it's so rare that people don't really necessarily know when or where it was released. As World Champions Pack was a very interesting released set. But yeah, so an unlimited edition Skarmory. This is in really good condition, so again, hoping for the 10 grade, as yeah, it would be really interesting to see an unlimited edition World Champions Pack 10. I think all of my World Champions Pack 10s that I have in my collection are first edition, actually. Have another drink here. All right, here's a big card. Here's a couple big cards to finish off or well, not finish off the era, but finish off the EX cards. Oh boy, here we go, Gold Star. I'm submitting this at like the bulk level, so I might get burned on this with an upcharge, but this is a really, really nice card. This is in mint condition. Really hoping for the PSA 10 on this Gold Star card. If it came back a 9, that would be certainly fine as well, but a PSA 10 on one of these old Gold Star cards would be really something. So really, really, I actually don't have any PSA 10 Gold Stars anymore, so getting one back in the collection would be really nice with this Trico. Next up, arguably the greatest Rayquaza artwork of all time, the Blanks Rayquaza by Mitsuhiro Arita. This is just top-notch. It is a little off-center. Again, I don't think it's too off-center to knock it down from 10 to 9. But again, man, that artwork is just mind-blowingly good, and I'd be happy with whatever this card came back as. All right, so now we're done with the EX cards and the promos from the EX era. Now we're going into some Delta Species cards. I love Delta Species. I've been trying to get as many Delta Species holos in a 10 as I can. Not really sure if I'm going to go for a full set yet. Basically, let me tell you, it depends on whether the Charizard I submitted back in May comes back as a 10, because that's a very, very expensive card. And if it gets a 10, then great, I don't have to worry about buying it. If it doesn't, that's a problem. So we got the Espeon, beautiful, beautiful card here. I actually have this in a 10 already, but certainly can't hurt to pick up another copy. Next up, this is one that I do not have, the Mewtwo. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Really, really happy with this. Yeah, the Mewtwo is just an amazing Delta Species card. And yeah, I had not seen it for a while until it did pop up on Japanese Marketplace, and I was able to snag it. Next up, I'll do these two together because you just basically have to. The Latios and the Latias, it's just, they go so well together, both from Delta Species, and yeah, really hoping for 10s on these. I think I have one of these Latios off right now, but I do not have a Latias. I think I used to have one in a 10, but then I sold it. So it would be great to reacquire that Latias in a PSA 10. All right, next up, Omastar. Again, just a beautiful, beautiful card. I love the purple background, how it sort of blends into the psychic type on the card. You really feel that like the artists knew everything that was going to go on with the card when they were doing the artwork. Like they knew Omastar would be a Delta Species psychic type, so they sort of worked that in. I think you can see that really well in a couple of them. Next up, 2 copies of Togetic from EX Dragon Frontiers. I was able to grab 2 copies with good centering. As you know, longtime viewers of my channel will know, I talk about this all the time. Dragon Frontiers has atrocious centering. It's so horrible. And yeah, this is just finding any copies with good centering is amazing. So really hoping one of these comes back as a 10, as it would add to my Dragon Frontiers collection. And yeah, this is what I'm talking about when I say that like the artists knew what type they were going to be. This Flaming Ludicolo from Masakazu Fukuda, just beautiful. Really, really cool. I love it. Tip in the hat there. Really nice. I actually think I graded this before and it did not come back at 10. All right, now moving into, and I believe the rest of this submission is Diamond and Pearl era cards. And there's some really nice ones in here. So first up, got some shinies. Lotad. Is it worth $13? I don't know. But just a beautiful, beautiful shiny Lotad card. Masakazu Fukuda art there. I think he's captured the derpiness of Lotad really well in this photo. Next up, Drifloon. Very, very nice card there. Again, I just love the subtlety of these shinies. You pulled them in the uncommon slot or the common slot in Japanese booster packs. They were not like ultra rare cards, or well, I guess technically they were ultra rare cards, but they weren't marketed as ultra rare cards. They weren't put in an ultra rare slot. As you can see, it has the common stamp, and it's part of the regular set. So I just love that. 2 copies of Garchomp Level X. Been submitting several Level X cards lately, hoping that these do come back with the PSA 10 grade. As yeah, these are just beautiful, beautiful cards. Some big Level X here. 2 copies of Leafeon Level X. This is arguably one of the biggest Level X cards. And yeah, I think I submitted one in an earlier submission. But again, you can never have too many mint condition Leafeon level X's to submit. This one has another beautiful swirl right there, right next to Leafeon. You can see it in the light there when I tilt the card. Next up, another level X that I am hoping comes back as a 10, Salamence level X. As I've said many times throughout this video, I am a huge Salamence fan. So yeah, this is just a beautiful, beautiful card. Next up, to round out the level X's, we have Regigigas level X. I believe this is from the Stormfront version. I don't know the Japanese set name. But yeah, Regigigas level X, really, really cool. These level X cards, I don't like them as much as the EX, but they still have the awesome hollow border. And yeah, they're still pretty cool. All right, now into some really, really nice cards here. We got the reprint Charmander. This I'm thinking is going to come back a 9 just because some very tiny little edge wear at the top on the front of this card. But it's totally worth it. This is a very, very nice card, and really hoping for a high grade. And of course, what would Charmander be without his big brother, Charizard, and not one, but 2 copies of the Charizard reprint from again, the Japanese Stormfront. This is just beautiful. Both of these cards are in tip-top condition. I'm really hoping for 10s on both of these. I've looked them over very, very carefully, and there is not a thing wrong on either of them. Both first edition, both beautiful, beautiful copies. Yeah, so really, really hoping that at least one, if not both of these cards comes back with the Gem Mint 10 grade. That would be really, really exciting. Next up, Mew from Diamond and Pearl 3. Oh goodness, do not know the set name, but again, this is just a beautiful Mew artwork, and you know, there's not a lot of Diamond and Pearl Hollows that I think are worth submitting for grading right now. This is one of them. The legendary Pokemon from Diamond and Pearl 3 are really, really nice. Speaking of Diamond and Pearl Hollows, I would submit this Giratina. The artwork is just mind-blowingly good. Hajime Kusahima, just a fantastic artist. You know, the same artist that did the Hall on Phantoms Gyarados, that did the Supreme Victor's Shiny Milotic, like just tons of great artwork from that artist. Next up, Rorx Rampardos. I'm submitting this for my friend Michael. He's looking for this card in a PSA 10, and I have a mint copy of it. I wasn't planning on submitting it, but since he needs it, I'll toss it in, and hopefully I can grab that in a PSA 10 for him. So there we go with that. And the remainder of these cards are from the Diamond and Pearl 10th anniversary movie file, and this is kind of crazy because in one of my videos way back over the summer, I said that the Diamond and Pearl movie file was ridiculously underrated, and it was probably the easiest money you'd ever make. You could buy a full file in mint condition for somewhere in the neighborhood of $40 to $50, and then grade all the cards, and they'd come back being worth a ton of money. Take a quick drink there. And everyone kind of realized that, and now these files are $250 or so in mint condition. And the cards have continued to rise, so it's, you know, still kind of worth it to buy at that price, which I think is insane. But yeah, so I was able to pick up these cards before the massive price rises, and now they are very much worth submitting to PSA. Before they were like, oh yeah, like you could make some good money. Now you can make a lot of money. So we got the Celebi here. All of these have like interesting names. I don't know all of them. I'm not sure what this Celebi is named, but yeah, I have 2 of those, and they're all based off of old Pokemon movies. So this Celebi, of course, is based off of the, I think it was it the second, not the second Pokemon movie, but yeah, the movie with Celebi. We have 2 copies of the Latias, and this is Altamare's Latias, again, calling back to that beautiful original Pokemon Heroes movie and the original Altamare's VS deck, which you might see at some point relatively soon on this channel. We got beautiful swirl there, we got beautiful swirl there, just top-notch cards. Yeah, really hoping that those come back with the Gem Mint 10 grade. 1 copy of Altamare's Latios. Some of these have 2, some of these have 1. It's really just, I bought 2 card files, and some of the cards were in mint condition and some were not. So I'm submitting the ones that are in mint condition. I think this is Crystal Forests Entei, Crystal Towers Entei. Again, very, very nice. Calling back to that Spell of the Unknown movie, I believe. Yes. I think that was the 3rd Pokemon movie. Not necessarily sure. This is the big boy in this submission. This is a $600 plus card in a 10. Explosive Births Lugia. Very, very nice. Masakaze Fukuda's art. Again, referring back to Pokemon the movie 2000. Really, really exciting. I love that movie, so it would be awesome to grab this card in a PSA 10. All right. Mewtwo. Very nice. I, again, don't know the exact name for this Mewtwo, but it is a top-notch card. 1 copy of the Lucario. Very, very nice. Again, love the holo interacting with that sort of, I think it's maybe an aura sphere that Lucario's working up there. I'm not sure what this is. Maybe it's like Space Fisher's Deoxys. But yeah, this is a very, very nice Deoxys. 2 copies of that. And coming down to the home stretch here, 2 copies of Jirachi. Again, just a beautiful, beautiful artwork. Beautiful, beautiful card. I don't think the prices for these cards in PSA 10 are going to hold where they are, just because there's so many that people have. But still, very, very nice cards. And last but not least, we are finishing it off with 2 copies of Tree of Beginnings Mew. And this is, again, just a beautiful artwork. Yeah, so, oh boy, we got through that submission under an hour. That was sort of my target time, but yeah, man, 110 cards. This is a massive submission. I'm so excited about these cards. And yeah, hopefully I will have them back by the end of 2021. That's just sort of how things are going right now. But yeah, so got a giant stack. These are going all off to my friend Charlie at Ludkin's Collectibles. So yep, he does all my grading, or his company does all my grading. They are fantastic. They're the best choice if you want to grade any number of cards. Yeah, so thank you all for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and stick around for more videos.